Well, hello everybody, and welcome to my channel. My name is Stephen the Jupiterian, here with you. Actually, Mars has recently moved into the sign of Cancer, where it'll be there for, quite some time. I will go over this I will show you in the time clock. And I also will have a couple of charts to share with you, and I have someone here who will help me, a co-host of sorts maybe, or an honored guest. We will see who that is soon enough. I will not give any hints right now, but here's the time clock for right now. It is 1:23 p.m. on the West Coast, in California. I'm in California, San Francisco, and this is the time clock right now. So if you added 3 hours, it would be a lot different, because let's edit this and I will show you. And New York. And then we will calculate that. And oops. Huh. Get that? Yeah, so it's 4:24 p.m. We have Capricorn rising right now when I am recording this on September 4th. If you are on the East Coast. So there's a lot going on here in this chart today. And I have I think I will share with you who this co-star is. Here she is. It's Vanna White. Yay! Can we buy a vowel? And some consonants, please. She will be helping me find those vowels and consonants and nifty phrases to solve with Mars now in my 8th house. Yay. He says with yeah. Let's edit this back to my place of home, where I'm at home. Calculate, and it's 1:25 p.m. All right, so we have Sagittarius rising at this time on the West Coast when Mars moved into the sign of Cancer, where it is not happy there. It's in its fall. Mars is still going to do Martian things like taking action and determined to do things in a Cancerian way, which is kind of like throwing a wet blanket over something you want to do, I guess. Right now? Yeah. Okay. And Pluto has moved back into Capricorn, where it'll be for the next 3 months. Actually, I'm going to share with you that. I'm going to move this in months. And we'll go with October 4th. November 4th, the day before election day. Mars is in Leo for a while. And then it goes back into Cancer. My next Cancer. See, so now Mars is retrograde, and it'll be back in Cancer in January sometime. Okay, let's go back weeks, because even though Mars will be in Leo, it's going to be going retrograde back into Cancer until April, I believe. But let's see. Until April, something, yeah, middle of April, towards the end of it. Okay, so, oops, April 17th into the 18th, or yes, give or take 17th or 18th of April, Mars will be moving back into the sign of Leo. So that's a long period of Mars in Cancer, wherever it is in your chart. And we'll go back to the time clock now. And Mercury is still in Leo at 24 degrees. And it's still in its shadow phase, it's pre-shadow or post-shadow phase until September 11th, as I've been saying for a while. And Jupiter is in Gemini until June of next year, 2025, when Jupiter moves into Cancer, where it is in its exaltation. And Jupiter will be very happy in the sign of Cancer. I believe. Right, let's check this out. Um, Let's see. Oops. Jupiter is an exaltation, yes. In the sign of Cancer next year, when Jupiter moves into Cancer. Jupiter is not too happy right now in the sign of Gemini, and neither is Mars in Cancer. They both, the Jupiter is in its fall, and Mars is now in detriment, or yeah, Mars is now in fall also, yes. Jupiter is in detriment, Mars is in fall, yet it has triplicity at this time, but yeah. Mars isn't too happy in the sign of Cancer right now. And for this Sag risings especially, Mars is in your 8th house of shared resources, other people's money, debts, taxes, inheritance. You could get inheritance, but it'll be taking us some time to acquire at the moment because it is making a square. Well, it's an out of sign square, not really making a square. So it's an out of sign square to Neptune. So that's quite all right now. And although Jupiter is making a square to Saturn, it's still within its orb. This Jupiter is at 19 degrees, Saturn is at 16 degrees. It'll be making another pass when Jupiter is still going to be in Gemini, but it might, I think, when Saturn goes direct, and Jupiter goes retrograde, that'll be a different story. There'll be more stories to come between Jupiter and Saturn, expansion, and Jupiter, the planet of that expands things, and Saturn, the planet that constricts and restricts and puts limitations and limits and structure everywhere it goes. So and we have the moon. The south is coming to a conjunction with the south node. Venus is conjunct the south node until tomorrow. So this could bring endings to friendship, could bring some kind of odd experience in the friend zone here of the 11th house for Sagittarius rising. So, all right, so and I also, well, actually, before I get to all signs, I also wanted to stop my share and share with you something else. Yes, this is Kamala Harris's natal chart, which I never shared with you before. She's one of the nominees or candidates for president so far. There's still more stories to come out on this election. Kamala has Gemini rising. Mars has just moved into her second house of money, her personal possessions, the way she talks about things will be brought to it attention here, because the second house has to do with the voice. The second house also has to do with things that you consume or buy or spend money on. So probably needs a lot of money for campaigns right now. And Pluto is in her 8th house at right close to her south node here. So it's quite interesting that when Mars was in the late degrees of Gemini, it was on her north node during the Democratic National Convention, where she was seen as she was destined time for her. She has natal Mars in Leo, which is in her third house. She has Venus in Virgo. Sun is in the fifth house. Venus is in her fourth house. The Sun is in Libra in the fifth. She has Mercury at 1 degree and 27 minutes of Scorpio. And her south node in Sagittarius. Yes, since her north node is in Gemini, her south node is in Sagittarius, which is interesting to me. She has Saturn in Aquarius in her ninth house of foreign travel, foreign dignitaries, other cultures, higher education, traveling, and she is traveling all over United States for her campaign. So she needs to focus on using her Mars and Venus here to become closer to her the people, to become closer to showing who she is, and not showing how she proves to others with Saturn in the ninth house. Well, but she was born on a full moon. During a full moon, because I had the sun at 27 degrees and the moon is at 27 degrees. They're within a minute or two apart from each other, but still, that is close to a full moon to me. And now I want to stop my share. I also wanted to share with you. Okay, I'm going to stop the share and I'm going to start it over again. And I also have another chart here that I wanted to share with you. This is the other candidate, Donald J. Trump. I know. He's running for president. He has Leo rising. When the Republican National Convention was going on, Mars was over his north node and the sun in Gemini, making it a very prominent time for him in the public eye. But now that Mars has moved into his whole sign 12th house, this will be a different story. Things will be occurring behind the scenes, and Mars will be conjunct his Mercury soon, by November. And Mars will dip into his first house for a little bit and then go retrograde. Donald Trump has Jupiter in Libra. He has the moon. He is also born during a full moon. He has the moon in Sagittarius and the sun in Gemini. Well, Sagittarius, well, you know him. He's loves to talk. He has a big personality. He has Mars in the first house. He's a big personality, has the sun in the 11th house also. And his moon is well, there's a full moon here, and he is also born during an eclipse. We have the North Node conjunct his sun, the South Node conjunct his moon by a degree or two. Very close to his destiny. So, yes, with that, I'm going to stop my share. I will have a prediction for you in October. Yeah, because actually things are going to, there's stuff going to happen because Uranus has just moved into its retrograde period, moved retrograde into the sign of Taurus. And yeah. So with that, I am going to stop this share. And let's see, Vanna, what else do we need to do? I don't know, Stephen. Let's see. What shall we do? Let's see. All signs. Yes. Okay. All right. Let me get this situated for us first. Let's go hours. Now that we have area, whoops, too far. We're starting with Aries first. Okay. Aries rising. Mars has moved out of your third house of communication, writing, and having to do with siblings. Well, now it's in your, Mars is in your fourth house of home, hearth, and your mother, your ancestors, probably going to be wanting to well, Mars in the fourth has a lot to do with taking action in the home, doing things in the home. Maybe you could also, yeah, doing things in the home, taking initiative and in homebound situations here. It's squaring the moon today, but not for a while, but that's fine. That's just a blip in on the trajectory of things right now, because the moon is going to be moving out of moving closer to Venus, and then by Friday and Saturday the moon will be in Scorpio, where it'll bring some interesting a trine, an interesting trine between Mars and the moon. So emotions and actions will be beneficial on Friday into Saturday. And Pluto has moved from your 11th house to your 10th house of career, public reputation, where it's been before. It's just back there now for the next few months until a week or I think it's a week before Thanksgiving in the US that Pluto moves back into Aquarius for good, and that will not happen. I will not see Pluto in Capricorn for a very, very long time in our lifetime. So there's some things that need to be tweaked a little, and things that need to be taken care of that may have that you will probably see that you will need to I guess things that you'll take care of that need to be drained or from this area of your chart taken care of. It's just a little bit of cleanup here that you may have misjudged or forgot about, that needs to be revisited and completed, and it will need to be completed and then by the time Pluto moves into your 11th house, things will look so much better, and friends, benefactors, your older sibling, your great gains from an entrepreneurial thing you wanted to do, or your hope that you wanted to accomplish, or a dream that you want fulfilled. Well, Pluto is here to help out with that, taking it apart, dissecting it, and putting it back together in a new way. That's what Pluto does. He flushes out all the old crap and replaces it with something new. which is a very welcome thing, especially for your 10th and 11th house themes here, Aries. Alrighty, let us move on, I think, yeah, to Taurus. Well, Mars is in your 3rd house of siblings. Little short distance travel, in your neighborhood, neighbors also, aunts, uncle, well, your cousins too. Mars will be doing some work here, taking some action to maybe deal with something that's going on in your neighborhood or with your siblings, your cousins. And yeah. Let's see, the North Node is in your 12th house in Chiron. Okay. I'm not going to touch those just yet, but no. Okay. Pluto is in your 9th house of book publishing. Pluto in your long distance travel. Travel to far distant lands. Pluto will upheave some things that you may have forgotten about. The last time Pluto was in Capricorn since 2008. So yeah, there will be some things you need to complete and do an overhaul of. And Pluto will definitely show you where those need to be things that need to be taken care of, and demolish it and take it down like a bulldozer. And Pluto also will help sweep up the mess and put something new in place. For you, Taurus, in your 9th house of publishing, yeah, your could be even going back to school for something that you overlooked that will help you gain some status here also in your public reputation. So the 9th, 10th, and 11th have to do with a lot of things that deal with the public. Studying something for your career and then getting the rewards and accolades in the 11th. So, what else for Taurus? Oh, Venus is in Libra, the sign that Taurus rules, and Libra also is ruled by Venus. Venus rules Libra and Taurus. So Taurus, this is also has to do with work, work situations, pets, health, or illness, taking care of something. letting something go, purging something. Venus conjunct the south node sort of purges things, lets go of stuff that no longer serve you in your job, your work, life, your job, yeah, co-workers and pets. So yeah. All righty, let's moving on to our fun-loving Geminis. You just love to communicate and talk about everything and learn, and your curiosity is so on point. But now that Mars has moved out of your sign and into the second house, Mars will be dealing with some emotional things, dealing with things that you consume. Maybe you'll be spending money like the oh yes, a perfect example of Mars in Cancer in the second house is I need to go for shop therapy. I'd advise not to do this. Shop therapy is nice until you get that the charge card bill, and you don't have the money to spend on those things, or you don't have, yeah, you'll over extend your credit card. You'll overextend because Pluto will take over here in your 8th house and be like, all right, you've been spending a lot and now we need to clean this area up of your financial problems here, Gemini. Yeah, be careful of, that's right. Okay, Vanna, you stay over there. Okay. All righty. We're coming to your, yeah, your Cancer rising. Yes, I know. I'm going to share that chart too. And so now that Mars is in your second house, Venus is in your 5th, and it was conjunct the south node here of letting something, a creative project go, or that no longer is of interest to you, or actually you maybe even not the best time to have a child right now, but fun is a good idea. Always nice to have a relationship at this time. Nothing too serious until the south node gets out of your 5th house, which is next year. So, Gemini, what else do we want to talk about? Well, your 11th house, this north node in your 11th house has been very beneficial for you, although Chiron has been bringing some kind of sadness or something that you need to work on here to get past. And yeah, this Chiron brings some help here, teaches you something that you need to work on to heal from. in your 11th house, but the North Node here and the beginning of Aries and move into Pisces next year, which will bring very much more good luck and destiny to your career and public reputation. The image you show to your professional image that you show to in your career. Alrighty. Pluto in the, yeah, I spoke about Pluto in the 8th. That's going to do, yeah, you're going to need to check those stock portfolios, your anything dealing with other people's money, like stocks and bonds and credit card debt, things that you owe for the next 3 months. Gemini. Okay, next we have Cancer. Before I do that, I just needed to share with you, since we have our special guest here, she wants you to see her chart. I am going to share her chart with you right now. And here it is. Ms. Vanna White. She has Cancer rising. Cancer in her is her first house. Right? Yes. America's sweetheart. Yes. Cancer rising. So, all right, then that's enough for you. You have Mars in your has just entered your first house, so yeah, you'll be in the spotlight actually, pretty much. Mars and you'll be a big personality. Yeah. Yes, I know. On Monday, your show begins again with a new host, Mr. Ryan. Yes. So, all right. Moving on to our Cancer risings. So, Mars is in your first house, Cancer, because actually, this would be Vanna's first house, Cancer, and Leo would be his second. Mercury is in your second house of communicate. Well, you're going to be communicating about things. You're using your voice and consuming things through communication. And so you'll be seen and heard. And with the sun in Virgo, you'll be popular in your local networks. And yeah, the moon and Venus and the north south node are in your fourth house. So you may or will, something in the home needs to be let go of, purging something from the home. And then we have, now that Pluto is in your 7th house of one-to-one relationships, your spouse, your clients, your people you work with one-on-one. Well, I for the next 3 months, it may be a little difficult, especially for Vanna, because she's going to have a new co-host or host of the Wheel of Fortune. Ryan Seacrest is going to be the new host of the Wheel of Fortune, and we shall see what lies ahead for this Cancer rising, or any Cancer rising. And we have a lot of things going. Saturn is in your ninth, has been in your ninth house for the past year and or so. It'll stay there until next year too. And Neptune is in your ninth house, bringing some unstructured limitations to your travel plans. So, yeah, not the best for Cancer rising, but actually, you'll be seen, you'll be heard, and just if you stay in your local, this staying local and in your neighborhood, you'll be fine. Don't venture out anywhere. Cancer rising, it's best to be dealing with things at home. And then, although even though things at home, there will need to, your focus will be on letting something go here. But that's not all bad for Cancer rising. Leo rising. Ooh, Mars is in your 12th house. Well, you may have some violent dreams, emotion that bring up really deep emotional trauma here with Mars in the 12th house. Not well, it could bring up some trauma. It also could bring up things that you're bring up some things you are afraid of, or that bring up some fear, or things that you need that may need the things will come to you in dreams, or just behind the scenes things that things you don't others don't necessarily see, but are being taken care of behind the scenes here. For Leo, we have Mercury in your first house. You'll be talking a lot and about you and what you're doing. It's all about me, me, and me, and me, and me. I am doing this. I will be doing that, instead of, yeah, well, actually, that's interesting. And then we have the Sun in the second house, Sun shedding light on money situations, things you consume, your self-respect or self worth. But with the Sun in your second house, self-worth will be very prominent, because the Sun brings inner light to this area, making you feel much better, making you feel so much more worthy. Okay, well, we have Moon, Venus, and the South Node in your third house, bringing up something you need to purge from your neighborhood, or some kind of situation dealing with your siblings, or cousins. Leo rising. All right, next. Virgo. Well, Virgo. You, the sun, happy birthday to you. The sun is in your sign, lighting you up, bringing joy and happiness to your personality, how you were seen by others. The person you show, if you have the sun and your rising sign in the sign of Virgo, you are who you say you are. Your ego and your personality are one and the same, which is quite interesting. So you're actually purging something here. You may be selling some items that are personal items, or that or selling, getting rid of things that you no longer need, that are not worth anything to you anymore, that these are not bringing the resources that you thought they would. So it's time to let those things go. When you have the South Node and Venus in your second house of self-worth, of resources, personal resources, and it's a good thing to sell, probably selling those things, so you can get some monetary money from the selling of those items. Now Pluto has moved from your sixth house to your fifth. And where it's been, where it's not, is no stranger, you're no stranger to Pluto in your fifth house. Was there since 2008. So you're doing something having to do with maybe your children, a creative project, an entrepreneurial endeavor that needs to be cleaned up here for you, Virgo. Rising, especially with Pluto in your fifth house, transiting your fifth backwards into your fifth house. Saturn and Neptune, something in your with your spouse, your one-to-one relationships. If you have clients, that will be some limitations, and clients will put limitations and structures on you, because, or you will let your clients dictate what limits and restrictions they are placing on you. Yeah, because this is a relationship house. Anything here, other people will take on this. Either you or the other person will take on this energy and reflect it back to you, because it's going to be opposing your sun, the sun in your first house. So any restrictions are going to be reflected back to you, Virgo. Just to be aware. And Mars is in your 11th house of friends. Well, actually, maybe you'll be going out more, taking the initiative to be with your friends more, or with a social group, or cutting away from leaving a social group, because Mars usually sometimes severs and cuts away where you, yeah, no longer, this group or this friend of yours no longer serving you, and so you just let it go. And that's all I have for you, Virgo. Next, Libra. Well, Venus, the south node has been in your sign for quite some time now. And when Venus conjunct the south node, um, something is being, well, usually it doesn't have to be, because actually Venus is a really good placement for Libra, but maybe something in your personality needs to be changed when it's conjunct the south node. But when actually you'll be looking your best, feeling your best, and maybe you will feel that you need to do a new health routine to make yourself even look better, like a new, taking more vitamins, or um, vitamin E, for example, for better skin, or doing some kind of treatment for your, like a facial or body and skin seaweed wrap. Who knows? you know, Ven- um, Libra. Yeah, actually, it's all about the you're taking care of yourself and your body. You will look and you will look radiant, and people will notice. So, okay, what else do we want to say here? Mars is in your 10th house here, Libra, having to do with something with your career. You're taking more initiative in your career. It's not happy. Mars isn't great in the sign of Cancer, but maybe something emotional will come along in your career where you need to be more assertive, be more taking charge of the situation in your career where someone is just too heavy of a burden in your career. What else? Well, Pluto is back in your fourth house of home, family, your home, the home that you built. It's back here. Something hasn't been taken care of here in your home. And yes, anything with the second and the eighth? No, we have Fortuna here in your eighth edge, but that's something. Never mind. There's fortune in your eighth house of money, inheritance and stuff like that. Alrighty, let's move on to Scorpio. Well, Scorpio, Mars is in your ninth house of book publishing. Taking initiative to get that book that you've been working on, Scorpio rising. Get that book published, get that book out there, take the initiative to do the thing you want to do in your ninth house. Maybe you'll go on a book tour, who knows? And Mars will be here for a while. You might have your book published, and it might be time to do that book tour. It will be a very great, well, it'll be, Mars will push you to go on that book tour, but Mars and Cancer may be an emotional roller coaster for you, Scorpio risings, because this is the house of higher education, book publishing, foreign travel. You may need to do things that are, or you may find that you need to renew your passport. And that's an emotional thing to have to deal with when you find out, oh yeah, my passport is not, or I don't have one, and I need to get somewhere and sell my book, and it'll be very taxing and emotional. What else we have? Pluto has moved back into your third house of siblings, your neighborhood. So yeah, something that you need to deal with in your local neighborhood, your neighbors, or something having to do with your neighbors and cousins and siblings here, aunts and uncles too, that needs to be addressed so you can move on from that, and that will help to push you from the writer to the being published. Maybe you're writing something. This will get that moving, and with Mars in Cancer in your ninth house, that'll also push you to get it published. What you're working on, what you're writing about, well, Mars will push you to get that find that publisher, get your book published. Alrighty, so next, Sagittarius. Mars is in your eighth house here of other people's money, your debts, and inheritance. And Venus in your 11th house of friends, of monetary gains that you from your career, and it could be very beneficial for communicating when, well, and now that Pluto is in your second house of your voice, you may need to revisit something you needed to check. Well, yeah, actually, interesting. You may, yeah, use something old here because Saturn, no, because Capricorn is something that's been outdated, probably will be needing to be purged from here to get where you need to be. Where you will find, so you can find your voice. You can broadcast. Well, when Pluto was in the third house, it is so much more easier to communicate what you're thinking and feeling and writing. Well, you will find your voice here more in with Pluto in the second house. Something that needs to be, you will, yeah. So actually, when you find your voice, when Pluto goes back into Aquarius, you may be able to write what you've learned from the next 3 months. I'm looking forward to that. It's this Sagittarius rising. Um, well, with this YouTube channel, it's been growing, and I'm so happy that it is. Thank you to all 96 of you who have subscribed, and I hope that you do hit that thumbs up button and subscribe if you're new here, you like this kind of content, and you want to see more of it by me. And a lot more. I'm going to also be sharing some of my artwork, which I have planned for. It's supposed to be um, a mystic oracle doll that I'm working on, and that's not going to be done until November, like yeah, after the election's over. So yeah, you will see that. I have other content for numerology and the tarot. And so yeah, there's a lot more coming from me in the coming months and years to ahead, because yeah, actually I'm in a new phase of my life where I just wanted to create content, write, and be a voice of a, a new astrologer, and have fun doing it. And I do have fun doing it. Thank you for those subscribers and future subscribers. I appreciate you all. And now we're moving on to yes, our Capricorns. Well, Pluto has moved back into your sign, Capricorn, where it's all about you. Something you need to focus on is some inner work, some or shadow work, as they say, when Pluto goes through your first house. And it's been doing this since 2008. There's something that needs to be worked on a bit more for the next 3 months to make yourself look much better, feel much better health-wise, and look physically fit. Pluto in your sign will help you do that. Now, next. Well, since Mars has just moved into the sign of Cancer, which is your seventh house. Well, Mars can bring some emotional initiative or something, some emotional or something that will action that will be triggered by an emotion from your spouse, a one-on-one relationship. You're a client who may place their emotions onto you, Capricorn. Yeah. So be aware of that, be conscious of that. It's not something they probably are using emotions to get to you, or emotional welfare, warfare, not warfare, emotional warfare against you too. That's could be possible, but it's a good thing that, yeah, I think you should use this Mars energy to bring that initiative to your relationship instead of having your relationship dictate what they want from you. Which is well, it's a two-way street here. You have to compromise, though. So if there is no compromise, then there's something will snap and maybe a divorce or a separation will occur between you and your spouse or a client or someone you dealing with one-on-one. So, but your career is looking up with Venus here, but something is also needing to be purged here too. Something about your career may not feel, you may not have the same values as the mission of your career, where you work. Or something of your um public image isn't jiving with your career, which needs to be taken into account here and changed for the better, possibly. Or it could just bring greater, more value to your career and your public image. So it could be either way. So yeah, actually this can go either way. Just let me know which way. If you're Capricorn rising, let me know. Is your career going well or not? Or is it changing or not? Or something needs to be let go of? We shall see. Alrighty, next on to our Aquarius. Well, let's start with Mars. It just moved into the sign of Cancer, and that is in your sixth house of work. Health, pets, illness. So something you may be severing something with a pet, or maybe you're taking the initiative to do a new health routine to get that something new here. And then we have Venus in your ninth house of foreign travel, foreigners. Maybe your partner is a foreigner. Maybe Venus is Venus could be a partner. Venus could be your a value of something to want to travel to far distances on a vacation. Maybe working hard to get where you want to be. Working on, yes, taking initiative, working in your work. The sixth house, Mars here in your sixth house. Mars of work and taking initiative. It'll be an emotional time for you, Aquarius. When you overwork, possibly you could bring overwork to you, but it'll be emotionally fulfilling. I believe, yes. I think it'll bring emotional fulfillment to your work. And what else do we need here to see? We have well, Saturn has been and Neptune has been in your second house for a long time. And I've been talking about that for a very long time. But actually, the most important things for Aquarius are Mars in Cancer, which will be moving through Cancer for the next 6 months. It'll dip into Leo and then go retrograde until I showed you before April. In April of next year, 2025. Alrighty. And last but not least, and always best, my sun sign, Pisces. I'm a Pisces sun, and I have Venus in Pisces. So, but for Pisces rising, well, Saturn's been in your house for such a long time already, and Neptune has been here too, bringing some fogginess to your something about your personality that you're not seeing with you wearing those. You have those rose-colored glasses on that are distorting the way you see yourself. Other people seeing it probably laughing at you like, what the heck are you wearing? Like the Luna moon from the Harry Potter books. She wore those crazy glasses, she dressed weird, and that's probably you too. But you know what? Hey, I'm with you there. I changed my hair color and hairstyle, and yeah, I now have a mullet, and it's pulled back into a ponytail right now. So yeah, I can relate to wanting to be different. But Mars has just moved into your fifth house of children, your creativity, entrepreneurial endeavors, taking risks, taking the initiative, even though it may be too emotional and taxing for you. Taking the initiative to have fun with your children, have fun with your creative projects, taking the initiative to enjoy your life. The fifth house is the house of joy. Mars is not happy in Cancer, but it's going to bring initiative. It's going to bring the passion emotionally. It'll bring, oh boy, yeah, Pisces is also trines your first house. Mars will a whole sign house of Pisces making a trine to Cancer is going to bring some beneficial things to you, especially if you have any planets in the first degrees of Pisces, and Cancer. It'll bring some positivity here, emotional, but but enjoy those emotional times with your children. And those emotions may spark some creativity in you, Pisces rising. And, well, even though Venus is in your 8th house of other people's money, inheritance, you may find something of value in other people's money. Just don't overspend. Yeah, you may, the South Node here in the 8th house is, oh yeah, I would just be leery of spending too much money. Make sure you're watching your the paycheck and the money coming in and out and going out. Make sure you are spending beyond, within your means, not beyond, within your means. It's a great time to keep track of the expenses that are like rent and bills you need to pay, and make sure you have the money to do it. The north node here is great for that, but yeah, make sure you have money to spend before you do, or you will be fine, or you will find yourself in deeper debt and owing more than you expected. Yeah, actually, also, with Pluto back in your 11th house, that's also has to do with um expenditures and things that you enjoy. Maybe a benefactor, maybe and benefactors, friends with uh money that you can, I don't know, maybe no, no, uh your friends will definitely be, you'll be purging some from a group, maybe. Pluto in your 11th house, something having to do with friends, your social groups, your social circles you are affiliated with are changing for the better. You're taking, things are being fleshed out of your 11th house to bring in something new and uplifting to you, Pisces. Well, I made it all through every sign. So if you liked this content, hit that thumbs up button. If you're new here, please subscribe and hit the notification bell if you want to get notified when I post new content. And it's always fun, and I bring in some interesting things like Ms. Vanna White here. And yeah, actually, okay, you can put your hands down. And Miss Vanna White would like to say thank you very much for watching our show, and come back again where I may have another special guest. Where you can follow me down the Yellow Brick Road. Is that a hint? Maybe. Find out in the next one. Thanks for watching, everybody. I love you all. Bye. Bye.